Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Whale FM. Today we have Bobby Ong from CoinGecko with us. This project showcase is sure to be a hit. Bobby, welcome to the Whale server and Whale FM. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thank you very much for inviting me. Big fan of what you guys do at Whale, so very happy to be able to join you guys here.
Stop, because we're such big fans of what you do and the team over there is doing that. It's actually incredible. You know what I'm saying? Something that everyone in the whale community uses every day. Actually, the tip bot that we use here in the server, I'll do a quick command. It actually pulls data from CoinGecko. So this is your API is something that we breathe. Is something that we breathe daily here, and that provides us invaluable information. So actually, it's an honor. It's an honor for real to have you and representing CoinGecko here with us. There's 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 so much to get to, only because you guys are so innovative in what you've been doing that, man, I don't know how you have the time actually to sit down with us. Tell us, if I must ask a first question to kind of break the ice and get things going here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then right afterwards, how you got CoinGecko kind of started. Because if we start from the last 2-3 months, it'll be too crazy. So give us a little bit of background on you and then the team and how CoinGecko kind of got formed up.
Sure. Happy to. Always love like sharing our founding, our origin story. So, yeah. My name is Bobby. I'm from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and kind of got into the crypto space in 2013. And sometime in 2014, I actually met my co-founder sometime in 2013, and together, TM and I in 2014, April 2014 to be specific, we decided to work on a crypto project, crypto price data aggregation project, and kind of launch it. So that was kind of the genesis of how CoinGecko started. So TM and I kind of went through. Back then, the crypto space was kind of very vanilla. There wasn't much things to do. The biggest idea back then was to set up an exchange, a centralized exchange. Concept of a decentralized exchange didn't really exist back then, so we didn't really want to do that, and we decided to build a version of CoinGecko. So kind of started in 2014, and we are gearing up to our 7th birthday this April. So I think team's planning something for the birthday. So yeah, and I think initially the team's really small. The team's really small, just TM and I, for a good 3-4 years, I think. We only hired our first guy in 2018, and the team's currently about 30 people, and everyone's based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. I think over 2017 bull market kind of like changed a lot of things. Like initially it was kind of a very small niche thing for crypto, but I think 2017 kind of like we saw like how retail and mainstream can come into the space, and kind of like we kind of built a lot of features, and in the 2019, 2020, 2021 year, we kind of like look into the space, and there's so much developments going around, and we kind of like innovated and kind of worked really hard to kind of represent like the data space well, and I think that was kind of like how we kind of got really deep into DeFi. In 2020, we kind of integrated all the big DEXs back then, Uniswap, Balancer, Curve, and so on. And then I think in 2021, I think it seems to be like a year of the NFT, right? And that's kind of like where we are looking at as well. Kind of like spend a lot of time in NFTs circles, kind of see how do we go around tracking things and all. So yeah, that's kind of how like a TLDR of how CoinGecko got started and where we are right now.
Man, seventh year birthday. First of all, congratulations. It takes a lot for a crypto company nowadays to kind of reach that maturity, and you guys have proven proven yourselves in this space and in this industry, coming from somewhere like something that we use every day. Again, I like to mention that because I wake up and it's CoinGecko. My app, my widgets and everything, it's all CoinGecko, and I hats off to you and the team, now 30 people strong. One question that it must definitely be asked is, how have you maintained yourself, the company, to be so innovative? You guys have embraced the DeFi. You've got tabs for NFTs and anything new that's popping off. I see that you're very, very proactive in integrating. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think one of the things, like, so you talk about 7 years and all, like for us, like, I mean, in crypto, like I think there's always thing that people kind of have a very short-term thinking in crypto. Like people just kind of like want to make the quick money and then kind of disappear from the space, right? I mean, but when we came to the space in 2013, we kind of knew that this was going to be a game-changing industry. We don't want to have like quick flips and like be in, be out, and that's it, right? So we knew we wanted to play the long-term game, and we knew crypto is going to take over the world, and anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. And essentially, like, we see all this ERC20 popping up and representing all kind of things. And I think we're just scratching the surface. Like, if you think about it, like NFTs will represent anything and everything that is non-fungible in this world, right? I mean, we own so many weird things in this world, and they're all non-fungible in a sense. So all these things can be represented as NFTs, and I think it's just a matter of time before this takes over the whole world. To your question on how we kind of stay up to date with all these things, we always kind of like to look at this space as kind of like a massive experiment, and we like playing with cutting edge technology. So kind of like to go around playing with all the DeFi projects and experiment. I mean, it's not just fun to know what's going on at the cutting edge, but I mean, there's so much alpha going on with all these projects at the cutting edge. Not just for DeFi. I mean, at this point in time, it's just NFT as well. I mean, if you're early in one of these CryptoPunks or NBA Top Shot, I mean, if you just bought an NBA Top Shot like last year, you will have like probably 100x on any of these packs. So we kind of look at it as like there's just so much alpha in the space, and we kind of really love playing with like new projects, and because we are so deeply involved playing all these different new projects, we kind of, once we started playing in now this project, we started spotting trends on kind of like what's kind of going around in the development of crypto space. And then we start asking ourselves, like, I mean, how do we educate like other users, the other peers who may not be on the cutting edge of crypto, for example, and how do we get these guys to also know all and educate themselves about all these apps? And that's where like we try to like simplify things and kind of find a way to classify this information in a way that is easy to understand for the average guy on the street. So that's how like the CoinGecko website and all this data that we show hopefully simplifies things. And that's where we kind of go around doing a lot of educational stuff. So like we wrote like a how to DeFi book, a beginner's guide on decentralized finance. We just published a book on Bitcoin, how to Bitcoin. So I think interesting thing about the book is that we wrote the DeFi book in March 2020, published in March 2020. It featured so many different projects like Uniswap, Pull Together. If like anybody who read our book and actually tried using the step-by-step guide on how to use Uniswap back in March 2020, they would have received like the 400 Uni token airdrop, and that will be worth how much now? $33. Like, yeah, so that's like worth $13,000 these days. It's same for Pull Together. If anyone who read our book just put some money and tried the Pull Together app, they would have received the Pull Together airdrop. So that kind of a thing. Like we didn't even know that there would be tokens back then, but like we kind of want to educate and share what we know with the rest of the world, I would say.
I love that because it's more than just price for you and for your team. I see you. I see big shout outs to Daryl. Daryl on your team is an amazing person. I see him involved in many of the projects that I even like. So I know it's somebody that is always forward thinking and getting their hands dirty with whatever's new and hip. So it represents itself well in your website. Like you said, it's about education and putting relevant information other than price in front of new users and existing people in the space. And I again, hats off, because you you show it in a way that it is, you're showing price, but also it gets people curious about, well, what is Chili's, what is Flow, and it kind of leads people to be more curious and to dive deeper into this world of blockchain. And shout out to Daryl again. He's been an invaluable help to the social token community, because every time I reach out to him, to get whale listed on CoinGecko or even more, and a few of the other currencies, it's always a very positive outlook with you guys. It's never like, oh no, it's I'm not to bash anyone or anything, but it's not like, well, it's $1 million to list. It's always like, this looks interesting, I like it, and I think the community will like it, and boom, next thing you know, it's like, oh man, that was so painless, and I wish that a lot of the other things would be like that. I'm maybe rambling a little bit and bigging you guys up, so much, but it's just such a great thing that you guys have built so far.
Yeah, I just want to add on a little bit here. What the entire information that you see on CoinGecko, is really down to the community, right? There's just so many coins. There's 6,400 coins listed on CoinGecko right now. There's 438 exchanges. There's no possible way that us, the 30 of us in team, can keep track of all these 6,000 coins and make sure that information is updated to the best of our ability. Updated like in the most accurate manner. We can't possibly follow all these tokens, so we really rely on the community to kind of inform us of changes whenever that things happen. So if you don't inform us, like, there's no way we'll know. So we try our best to to reflect all these changes whenever things happen as fast as we can, because not only is it beneficial for CoinGecko, it's also beneficial for us ourselves, because we kind of use CoinGecko and kind of rely on it for information, but it also is, more importantly, useful for like the project and the entire people in the crypto community, because everybody kind of like, a lot of the people rely on CoinGecko as like a first stop to kind of do their research. So if information is not right, then we may lead people down the wrong line of thought in the research space. So always we want to keep things updated, and we rely a lot on community. So thanks a lot for reaching out to the team, and we do our best to try to update and reflect things as accurately as we can, as fast as we can.
I love that you mentioned that people rely on you so much that it is a big responsibility that you hold, kind of, not on your shoulders per se, but you don't want to show any wrong information. It could be a good project that maybe some API glitched and showed wrong information, or it could just be a project that maybe just didn't follow through on their promises. But so if you could tell us a little bit about that, right? Like how seriously is it taken, that responsibility of being, people's first avenue or look into something?
Yeah, so you brought up a few points, right? Like API, and then like all the information. I think for us, we're very careful whenever when it comes to the website, when it comes to the contract address. Like, we do our best to verify, but once in a while, like, sometimes this is so many coins, like sometimes mistakes do happen. So but most of the time, things are correct, but should always like check and things on things as well, even though it's reflected on CoinGecko, especially the contract address. But yeah, API and all, right? We kind of rely on centralized and decentralized exchanges API to kind of get the price up. And lucky or not, a lot of these exchanges, their API, it's kind of a pain working with all these API, because they're all very different across all these different exchanges. And they go down, they change all the time. Every time they change, we have to update things. They have outlier numbers. So like, for example, if whale's trading at $35, you get some API from some exchange saying that whale's trading at 1 cent, for example, or whale's trading at $1,000, for example. And if we kind of accept the number as what they say is, that will kind of screw up a lot of the calculation, especially because we use a volume weighted average price calculation. So we have to kind of put in place a lot of like outlier detection mechanisms to kind of like, okay, if an exchange, whoever it is, says that whale's trading at 1 cent, for example, we got to discard this information. So yeah, we kind of have to put in a lot of these things. Circulating supply is another one that is hard as well. We kind of rely a lot on the team and kind of check on this information, and we kind of call Etherscan, for example. Some of the projects give us, especially like non ERC20 projects, we kind of use the API, and the APIs go down, then like those things don't get updated, for example. So yeah, those are some of the things I would say.
Okay, and it's very important. It's very important, the work that you do, and you never want to lead people astray, as you would say. Maybe a little deeper dive, or maybe just to get to know you better. But what is the easiest protocol, or what is the easiest thing to kind of track? Maybe it might be ERC20 because everything's so open. But is there something out there that CoinGecko is like, man, that is super easy?
Yeah, I would say like the Ethereum and the ERC20 standard like is very well established. It's quite easy to get information. Like and a large part of this is due to the fact that Etherscan does a fantastic job in maintaining a block explorer that is functioning and always up and has all the information that one needs. And the explorer just keeps getting better every single day. So the Etherscan guys built the Binance Smart Chain Explorer as well, BSC scan. So I would say that everything on and BSC is sort of like a clone of Ethereum. So like all the BEP20 tokens are as easy to track as the ERC20 tokens. I mean, some of the pain points I would say are like the explorers. A lot of like the projects, they kind of start their project, they launch their layer 1 blockchain, and then the explorer is kind of like an afterthought. They can crawl the information in the blockchain, but they don't really present those information in an easy to understand manner on a UI manner, on the UI for like what you see on Etherscan. So that's kind of like the data is there, but like it's like very badly presented. So it's just really confusing for a lot of other layer 1 chains, or especially layer 1 chains with tokens on it. So just go and take a look at a lot of them. So it's kind of like quite complex. So yeah, I mean, I would say that the ERC20 ecosystem is really, really good and easy for us to track.
Cool. And because it's so well established, I'm sure that it's very easy to verify things like liquidity and the amount of holders and stuff, so that before you list, you're like very sure of what's going on. Cool. Because most ourselves, whale token and other social tokens are built on ERC20, and I wouldn't be able to tell you one thing, and once you go verify it, it's completely different. All right, so there's no secret that we love NFTs here, and you have a system in place for collecting candies. Tell us a little bit about when you implemented that and how you implemented that, and maybe even how, if there's a few people in the chat that are developing something, how you choose those partnerships to for the rewards, for the candy rewards. Give us a breakdown, please.
Sure. I'm trying to share my screen, so maybe you can bring it up. So yeah, it is a CoinGecko page. Got whale on my screen right now. Man, love your price action.
This is breaking news. Bobby does not use dark mode on his CoinGecko. Okay.
So
well, I appreciate that you added it for the rest of us.
Yeah. A lot of people like the dark mode, so we kind of like, a lot of people are asking us for dark mode. So okay, we'll do it. So I use the dark mode on my mobile app, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of used to seeing the light mode because it's been like this this was the original version, and kind of like I guess I got used to it. But the app, I definitely like to use the dark mode on the app, and like you. It's kind of like the first thing I do in the morning, right? I wake up, I open the app, I check my portfolio and see like the list of coin and all the prices. Like what's Bitcoin doing, what's Ethereum doing, and let's go on by day. So that's kind of the first stop for the day.
Beautiful. All right, give us a breakdown on candies and so for those of us that don't know, how we can start earning some candies. Whoa,
So yeah,
look
this
at
is
that candy balance.
so yeah, CoinGecko Candies is a loyalty point system that we introduced where every day you can kind of, if you have an account with CoinGecko, so if you don't have an account, go sign up for an account and you can kind of have daily check-ins. So every day you check in, like you get some candies. So the first day you get 10 candies, 20 candies on the second day, 30, 40, 50, and I'm on my 6th day today. So I collect 60 candies. So I haven't done it for today, so let me do it right now. So there you go, my candy balance increased, and if I come back tomorrow in next 24 hours, I get to collect the next 100 candies. So once I've collected these candies, I can sort of redeem them for rewards. And for example, I spoke about the 2 books that we written earlier, How to DeFi and How to Bitcoin. So I have like 4,000 candies over here. I can kind of spend 800 candies and redeem this book for free. So instead of spending $15 for this book, which we sell, you can kind of like just redeem it for free. And we have a few other things. So like we have a CoinGecko store, which we have some swag packs, some CoinGecko t-shirt and so on. You can kind of like get the $10 off from this thing and you can kind of redeem them here. And we have a bunch of other crypto partnerships, right? So like if you want a VPN service, you can kind of redeem them for like 300 candies, the blog annual subscription. If you're doing taxes, there's a 10% off the tax plan. If you read DeFi newsletter, some discount codes. So there's a bunch of discounts over here that you can kind of claim if you want to have Trezor, buying a Trezor, you get a 10% discount code from CoinGecko. Yeah, and a bunch of other things as well. So kind of like that's kind of what we do. We to your question of how we kind of work with partners. So we find partners who are involved in the crypto space and who wants to share some reward with our users. So we only want to work with partners who want to give like discounts to our users. So users, like for example, like DeFi and the blog, they offer like 10%, 20% discount, and you can kind of redeem them. If they don't want to offer discount, then like it's kind of hard to work together because then there's not much benefit to our users in collecting the candies because they can't get any of these discounts. So that's kind of what it is, I would say, for how we kind of choose partners to work together. And this is kind of our way of saying thank you for using CoinGecko every day, and we hope you get to save some money. Like when you kind of want to spend some money in the crypto space, you can redeem the candies for some of these discounts.
Amazing. And there's a very strong recurring theme with your website, which is users first and education, like, tied for first. Most of the products that you offer are things that will empower the user and give them the information that they need to trade better, learn more. So that's really cool to see. So if there's anyone in the space that is listening to us now and you have a product that fits this model of community first and learning education, please definitely get in touch with the Candy team, and the Candy team will be more than happy to look into it, I'm sure, as they do everything else.
One of the partnerships that I'm super interested to close on is there's a partner that kind of allows you to print your hash mask in a canvas, and we're kind of hoping to kind of close that partnership, and then you can get a discount on printing your favorite hash mask. So let's see if that works out.
Wow. Well, you'll have instant, couple of thousand new users, even from this chat. Hash mask was overnight success that just continues its massive adoption. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of hash masks. I enjoy collecting them. I've got a few. I mean, I wish I get to collect more of those rare ones, but man, they just get bid up so high in price. I regretted not like spending more time on the first couple of days, but there's just so many rare hash masks that were going for cheap, and then I kind of like miss paying like some of the larger amounts in the later days. And then once the whales start buying up these things, they never put them out for sale. They just keep them forever. So there's no way I can collect some of these hash masks anymore.
Well, it's pretty. We could solve that problem right now. We can start a pool for candies, and you already have 4,250 candies. So that's a nice budget there for some hash masks. Oh my God! Imagine.
Yeah, I want to share something that we kind of put up recently. We have this CoinGecko.com/NFT page. So kind of like you get to see the top 100 NFT coins by market cap. So Engine's kind of the largest one at this point in time. Chili's, Flow, Decentraland, Sand, and so on. Whales obviously here as well. You can see I've got this favorited. I monitor Whale every day. Meme, Rarible, NFTX. So yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of like what we do for NFT. But I think one of the things that we kind of put in place recently is this NFT of the day, right? So the team in CoinGecko started curating like one single NFT that we think is interesting. So for today, we can click view. We have this Gods Unchained NFT, Prometheus, with the ID number. So yeah, this is kind of what we thought we featured this NFT for today. Yesterday was an art piece by Mike Butler from the Maker's Place Gallery with some of the description from the art. The day before was an NFT from Meme, Mauli Refreshing. And there was a super rare art. Yeah, so it's kind of like we started curating this, and yeah, we always like to see what's next. So if you have ideas, like always feel free to share, because we are kind of like curating some of these art pieces over here.
This is really cool, and a feature that I wasn't privy to till a few days ago. I don't know when you implemented it exactly, but it's very reminiscent of what kind of like what the Google homepage does, right? Where
Yeah.
they get some right, they get an information from. I guess their community is it's just the world at this point, but they have such a prominent homepage that anything they put on there, it's gonna get a lot of attention. And it's almost the same with this. You and CoinGecko have so much viewership that anything that you put on here, it's gonna get some views. So you really have the power to highlight very good projects, highlight very good artists. So again, big ups to you guys for kind of this forward thinking and putting NFTs in a prominent position in your website. And even before 3 weeks ago, where NFTs are on the news every day, a lot of us in the community have noticed that you guys are very NFT friendly, if you want to call it that, because of your work with Axie. Really, tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your partnership with Axie and the Jihos. I'm sure is the intricate part of that kind of blossoming, right?
Yeah. So our relationship with Axie has been around for some time. So yeah, I'm just putting out the blog post. This was from 2019, where we partnered with Axie Infinity, and I think it's interesting because back in those days, we kind of we did a giveaway, an NFT giveaway. So there's this rare NFT called an epic terrarium item. So there's this CoinGecko NFT in the Axie world. If you collect them, you have some special in-game benefits to gain some NH in the gameplay. So we kind of gave this away with like kind of giveaway back in 2019. So yeah, that was what it is. I think the Axie team is really interesting. Those guys are super innovative. They kind of innovated on the play to earn model, and we met the team in Vietnam. How many years? 3 years ago, maybe. And they continue to amaze us at their speed and the pace of development. So we like working with the Axie team, and those guys are fantastic, I would say.
Yeah, and then it's really awesome to see you guys. You have an item in a game. It's pretty unheard of for an exchange to be involved in those kinds of things and reward their users. Simply Axie was rewarding their users with this, but you had to be a fan of CoinGecko already and be active in order to receive something like this. It's really cool to find these intricate ways of playing and interacting with the community. For something that's a price aggregator, it's pretty wild how many areas of blockchain you manage to touch so well, that be it DeFi with the guide teaching people exactly what to do, and Axes with a whole game item. Did you kind of envision this in the beginning, that you would be so deeply entrenched in all aspects of blockchain?
I never thought of it that way. Actually, it was we created a website to kind of solve our own needs, right? We wanted to place. I mean, websites were really badly designed back then in 2013. You just can't stand it. So we wanted a website that was clean and simple and kind of had all the information that we want when we're doing research. And I mean, if you're collecting it ourselves, we thought like, why don't we share it with the rest of the world? So kind of that was the genesis of CoinGecko. And we never thought that, I mean, we are where we are today. I mean, closing in, I mean, having one of the most traffic websites in crypto. We never thought we would get to this stage. I mean, yeah, just kind of like quite mind-blowing. If you ask today, if you ask me if we saw this back in those days, like never in our wildest dream, I would say. So quite interesting things, yeah.
For sure. And so you guys are all about the numbers. So give us some numbers. Give us with the clicks per day. Give us the amount of users that you have registered. But you don't have to go into too much detail if those numbers are too sensitive. But what does it look like on an average day on CoinGecko?
So I think it's interesting. So like I think if you look at Alexa, for example, I think we are one of. So let's see. Alexa.com. So we are I think at this point in time close to the top 500 website in the world. So let's see here, CoinGecko.com. Yeah, I think this was interesting, right? So today we are ranked the 514 largest website in the world.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow, Bobby, that's something, man.
Yeah, I mean, when we're closing into the top 500, like I just can't wait for us to reach like 499 or like 500. That would be like fantastic news for us. Like, never in my wildest dream thought that I would kind of like get anywhere close to this number. And yeah, there's like millions of users using CoinGecko every day, and kind of like the engineers are working hard to kind of have like CoinGecko constantly working and always up, so that people can kind of check it on the website, on the app, and the API as well. I mean, we have a free API. So for any of you developers out there, if you want to use CoinGecko, if you want to get a price for any of the tokens that you like just feel free to go to CoinGecko.com/API, and you don't need an API key, and you can kind of access pretty much all the crypto pricing plus the historical tickers for all this price, and a lot of like projects kind of use our API to power their token pricing. So like MetaMask, MyEther Wallet, Frontier, Zerion, Zapper, Etherscan. So yeah, feel free to.
Is it because you guys are so proactive in implementing new things that these major dApps or just projects in general use you guys, right? Is that the reason?
I guess so. I mean, and I think we have like one of the widest coverage. So like almost every token that has a price, I mean, that is worthy of attention from people, that is being widely traded, you can find those tokens on CoinGecko. It's a unified API, so as any of these aggregator, you don't have to kind of like plug into different sources. Just plug into the CoinGecko API. It's super simple to use, and you get to call all this price information. And these guys talk to us, right, whenever they have issues with the API, or they want some feature on the API that is currently not listed, for example, and then we take a look. If it makes sense, then we kind of implement it and kind of improve the API for everyone. So I guess there's this constant feedback loop that we have with not just with all these projects, and it's a similar thing to what I tell you earlier about the feedback that we receive from the community on trying to improve things all the time, and that kind of mindset mentality is what kind of helps us to kind of improve things over time.
Dope. And one of the big things about you guys, how do you keep up with the constant F5 and refresh things that the crypto community demands? What does your infrastructure look like on that end? Like, do you guys just like is the monthly bill for server costs must be insane, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So I always joke with my team that during the bear market, we kind of we look at the server bills in terms of a car price. So like it could be a small car, like the server bills every month we are like buying a car and giving it away in the terms of a server bill. And like if we start spending like and then the bill have been going up over the past few months, and then like over time you'll become like the price of a Mercedes, for example. We start paying one Mercedes a month for the server bills. If it starts going to that Mercedes level, then you got like it's quite expensive. I hope it doesn't go to the cost of like a Ferrari each month, right, or a Lambo each month. That will be quite expensive for server bills.
I hope it does get to that. I hope it does get to that for you, because that'll mean that everybody is on CoinGecko and they want to check on their favorite coin. So everything should be green. Everything should be green.
Yeah, I mean, if we get to that level, like it definitely means it's kind of like everyone is trading crypto at that point in time. I suppose like mainstream, is super mainstream at that point in time. Just cost us so much money but it's fine, right? Because we probably get it back from other sources. But it means we are doing well if we are paying that much in server costs. We rely a lot on Cloudflare, so a lot of information is cached, and that kind of helps us with the server infrastructure and the backends AWS, basically to kind of help with scalability. As per every other crypto company, right? Everyone's relying on AWS kind of scale. A lot of companies rely on AWS for scale.
Cool. All right. So, now we have a basic idea that it costs a lot to keep CoinGecko up and keep you maniacs under control with your F5. So we all had an idea that would be something like that, especially with the amount of API calls that you guys must be getting every second. I don't even want to get into that.
I don't have the number right now. My team was telling me that the number of API calls doubled between January and February. So we're seeing a lot of new users coming into the space. That's definitely a good thing, and more people are looking to track this and trying to put them onto their Google Sheets or to use for their apps or their dApps or wherever, right? Yeah.
Very cool. Just another measure of how successful you've been. And let's see. One way to measure popularity is that I would think that you guys are number one in the space, and not to bring up competition by name directly, but you guys have surpassed any other metric that we've used previously. And not to look back, but to look forward. What do you think you want to keep doing, or how are you exactly going to maintain this lead now?
Yeah, I think for us it's just constantly being on the ground and seeing what changes, because crypto is not static, right? It's not like an industry where everything's kind of built and kind of like just maintaining status quo. It is a very fluid, fast-changing, evolving industry, and the moment we say that, okay, it's done, we don't care about what's going to happen next, that's the moment we start losing our lead, right? Because every day there's always new guys coming out with some interesting website that kind of showcases crypto data in a different manner. So I think for us, we always have to know what's the incoming new things, and some are fads, like they kind of like go on for a bit and then they kind of die off, but some are like larger trends that kind of stay on and build over time. So we just have to kind of constantly see what's going on and kind of build the product that will be useful and beneficial for the crypto masses.
Definitely. And we see you doing actively doing that nowadays. Now, so Okay, with the popularity of NFTs and maybe these all these new index type things that are popping up, have you and the team kind of looked into interesting ways of tracking, that, right? There's countless new things coming up now between DeFi and NFTs. You definitely list the majority of indexes on your site now, but how do you see that evolving? Like, can we get a NFTX NFTX kind of tracker, or what more information can you possibly display to us?
Yeah, I mean, I think what the guys at NFTX and Niftex are doing is very interesting. So, like for example, NFTX, basically, essentially, what we are seeing is this trend of the financialization of NFT. So NFTs, I mean, people always say it's non-fungible. I mean, there's always the problem of liquidity in NFT. If you own an NFT, you can't really get liquidity out of it. But I think in the next couple of years or so, like this problem of liquidity NFT is going to be solved. Like different teams will come up with different approaches on how to allow holders of these NFTs to access liquidity on their tokens. So I think like there's a few different approaches, and I think at this point in time, NFTX and the Niftex guys are sort of like leading it. So NFTX sort of created like a floor price for like hash mask, for example, in this case, and they created an index for these things. They have the same thing for CryptoPunks, based on certain attributes, the lowest attribute Punk, the Punk with a few attributes, and so on. I think it's interesting because it kind of creates a floor price. Then everything else is kind of a multiplier on top of this thing. Niftex is interesting. Disclosure, TM and I invested in Niftex, and I think it's very interesting in the sense that it goes the other extreme, right? So NFTX takes the floor price, Niftex goes for like the super rare NFTs and kind of like break it down into individual portions, so that you can, instead of owning the full NFT, you get to own like a fraction, like a 1% or a 5% of a particular NFT, and it allows for more people to kind of trade these tokens. Whale is interesting as well. I mean, you guys take a bunch of NFTs, put into a DAO, into a wallet, and then instead of me not being able to afford all these rare NFTs, I get to own a percentage of a DAO that has a collection of NFTs, which is also very interesting. I think NFT-Fi is also interesting, like how you can sort of have a rare NFT and kind of put it as a collateral and draw a loan from these NFTs. So I think a lot of these things are very interesting, and I'm pretty sure that there will be more of these kind of products coming out that allows people to access liquidity from the NFTs. How it will evolve, to what form, not particularly sure yet. But I think the things that are clear to us that we can kind of track easily, we will kind of do it as fast as we can. The more complex, complicated one, we kind of keeping a view of things, and seeing how we can kind of implement them in the near future.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what all those teams mentioned kind of can keep coming up with and innovating in the space. It's just daily now that someone's doing something really, really cool in the space. Let me see if we have some questions from the community. While I find those, and with all the new users that are coming across from the whole world, right? There are language settings on your website, right? But that kind of is a one-for-one translation of the information that they're currently seeing. How do you think you can better serve? English is very primary in the crypto space for now. And other major languages, but how can we reach, or what is CoinGecko planning to do to reach those languages that are not that common in the space right now, and to kind of bring them on board and give them that power that you're used to with education and everything?
Yeah, so CoinGecko is translated to how many languages now? 3, 4, 5, 6. About 20 plus languages on website, and Actually, we are the first website to start translating a website to other languages. So we started in 2014. I think sometime in 2015 or so, right? We started translating into like a few major different languages. So I think like some of the early languages were German, Spanish, Italian. Yeah. So kind of like we feel that as you said, like there's a lot of people who don't really speak or who don't have English as a first language, and we kind of notice that as well because crypto is not just specific for people who speak English. Like different people in the world will kind of also be involved, and they all have. We may all speak different languages, but the ideals and the attitude and the behavior are sort of quite similar. So we kind of noticed that and translated the website. Of course, now like on many websites have translated their site into multiple languages, but we were one of the first. And how we go around doing this, I think it's just a matter of time before we start expanding into more languages. And I mean, the hard part is managing different languages is actually pretty tough, like, and keeping them up to date and having a high level of translation as well. That's always the tough part about managing multi languages.
Dope. And there's a big community here in the whale server, and anything that if you needed some help and community support, we will be more than happy to lend a hand and get you some good content to display and serve everyone. We are getting some questions here from the audience, so let me read one out right quick. One of them is semi-implemented already, but let me just go ahead and read it out word for word. Is CoinGecko planning some metrics to show some metrics for fundamentals, for example, trustworthiness and true business value of projects, as I think market cap based on number of coins, price is somewhat flawed metrics. Okay, so. Yeah, if you understand it fully, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you. This question about market cap being a very flawed metric. We noticed that right from the start. Actually, market cap was kind of flawed, and it's highly manipulated by many teams. We like to use this saying that anything that gets measured gets manipulated, and because market cap is measured very actively in the crypto space, a lot of teams will try their best to manipulate this market cap value. A lot of teams will kind of play around with their token supply to sort of have like massive market cap so that they appear higher on CoinGecko, for example, even though a lot of them may be locked or owned by. So we have to kind of do all these things to check, but it's really hard sometimes. So I think the original version of CoinGecko actually doesn't sort coins by market cap. So the first version, the first iteration of CoinGecko on the homepage is actually a blended metric that looks into community stats, like how many Facebook followers, how many Twitter, Reddit followers there is for a particular coin. It looks at the GitHub, how many commits, how many issues, how many pull requests that's available for all these different coins. But as we kind of go along, it kind of worked really well for layer 1 coins, but as the tokens come about, like, it didn't really work too well. And what we noticed was a lot of people didn't really understand metrics beyond market cap. So we kind of like simplify the website and kind of sort coins by market cap on the homepage these days. But you're right in the sense that there needs to be more metrics beyond just market cap. So that's kind of like where things come in, right? On CoinGecko right now, if you look at on the coin page, there's always this metric called the fully diluted valuation, where it's basically the maximum supply of a coin multiplied by the price, and you get to see the FDV. Maybe I can share my screen and show some of these things again.
Cool.
Maybe
as more and more users come in, I'm sure that data like trustworthiness comes into play more and more, and people are very vocal about projects.
So I think there's a lot of these metrics. Like fully diluted valuation is one of the the screen's up right now. Like you can see the fully diluted valuation is over here. Some of the other metrics as well. We started adding market cap over TVL ratio. We started adding TVL for some of the coins, for example, on like Aave, for example. Let's see the TVL. We pull this from either DeFi Pulse. This is from DeFi Llama, actually. We have market cap over TVL ratio. We have FDV over TVL ratio. Some of the other metrics would be price over sales and so on. So I think it's just a matter of time before we start adding more of these metrics, because it will sort of help people with analysis. For example, if I were to analyze an Aave protocol, like, I probably would like to know like what would be the borrowing amount on Aave, and then I would like to compare against the market cap, and then probably want to compare against other competitors like Compound and Cream, for example. So how do we do it and help users with this sort of analysis is something that we ask ourselves, and how do we display them in the limited amount of space over here.
Nice, incredible. For people that are just coming into the space and are looking at, how many coins is it? Over
6,400.
Over 6,400 coins, and you seem to have a good grasp on many of the bigger things going on in the space. What would you say to new people coming into the space that to focus, not to focus on, but how to intake all this information that you're being thrown at you? What do you look for in a project, or what interests you the most?
Yeah, I mean, the hard part when it comes to projects is that it's a very steep learning curve, and you are being pulled across many different directions, and some of the directions are good. I mean, if you get pulled into the whale direction, for example, that's not bad. But there's also many scammers out there trying to pull you into projects that are not really worthy, for example. So that's kind of the hard part. I always tell people that if you're interested in the space and you kind of don't know where to start, I guess it's never wrong. It's never a bad idea to start with the basics. For example, understanding truly how Bitcoin works, understanding how Ethereum works, and then take your time to kind of like learn some of the other coins, and whoever that is bringing you in, kind of understand what's the use case, what's the purpose of the token, go deep into it, and take your time and learn and network and learn as much as you can from the other coins. Don't just kind of like buy a particular coin because someone tells you it's a good coin, or buy because you hope that it will go up in price, or buy because you read about it on some forums on Reddit, for example. So always do your own research, because knowledge is something that nobody else can take away from you. If you know something, the more you know it, the better it is, and it will help you as you go along this journey.
Cool. One of the things that Whale Shark always says here is, collect things because you like them. Collect things because you like them first, and then the rest will kind of fall into line. All right, cool. We have another community question. What does the marketing strategy to get new users for CoinGecko look like? It seems like you guys have everyone already, but how can we get the kids? How can we get the kids on CoinGecko?
Yeah, that's a question that we ask ourselves as well. I mean, we don't particularly have the answer right now. If you think about it, it almost feels that everyone in crypto is really using CoinGecko, but like the people in crypto is actually it's just a minority, right? Maybe like 5% of all the people in the world are in crypto. And if you think about it, like there's still 95% of people who may not have heard of crypto, or may have heard about crypto but may not own anything crypto. How do we reach out to these 95% of the people, of the population, right? It's something that we're still asking ourselves. How do we go about reaching them? And I don't really have an answer right now, but it's something that we are building. And as always, if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know, because we would definitely want to do it as well.
Cool. And one more question before I kind of let you give us your final thoughts before we hit the hour here. This one's good. This one's good because it's a hard-hitting question that everyone wants to know. What are the future plans of CoinGecko? Will it get acquired like Binance, or go public through an ICO, or launch a DAO giving governance tokens with centralized systems fully taken down with time? Broad question. Topics that are very relevant to today, but do you see something or iteration of this taking place with CoinGecko?
That's a very good question, right? And it's a question that we ask ourselves as well. Like, how will CoinGecko fit in the future, right? How what's kind of the exit strategy, or how do we, because it's kind of a very community driven website, and I mean, selling to Binance is always an option. An exchange would definitely want a website like CoinGecko, but we ask ourselves, is an exchange kind of the best place for CoinGecko to achieve its full potential in the future? We don't know the answer. Maybe not. Is a token or a DAO model the best model for CoinGecko? Maybe not. The hard part of maybe not is because at the end of the day, CoinGecko is still quite a centralized website. What do we do with the token? With governance, like it could open up a can of worms as well. Like, for example, if someone says XRP is like the number one coin because its market cap is whatever, right? The circulating supply is whatever. And if enough people voted on some things, then what do you do then? Do you kind of implement it? Or Cardano or whatever coin, right? It doesn't really matter. But so that's kind of like the hard part about how we think about token as well. What do we do with the token, the utility, if we were to do a token? So there is no real direction or plan yet. We're kind of like still kind of going and planning the going along with things, I would say. So I mean, CoinGecko as it is right now is a bootstrap company. It's owned by TMNI and employees, and kind of like keep it that way. And I think all options on the table. We don't really have an answer right now, so kind of like seeing how things go, I suppose.
That was kind of, it was very open-ended question. Of course, you would like to see things like being acquired by something so big like Binance, but also protect what you've built on Bootstrap. Your story is unique, and I'm sure you hold it dear. It means a lot to you guys, right? And something like an ICO or DAO, it opens it up maybe too much to where things are not so much in your control. But I appreciate that question from the audience. Bobby, dude, tell us, leave us with some kind of last minute remarks and maybe your vision for what the next, even the next 24 hours looks like might be too crazy. But definitely give us your outlook on CoinGecko in the space in general.
I definitely can't tell what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, but I think this year is fairly safe to call in the sense that this year is going to be a very interesting bull market. I think we are seeing Coinbase going for an IPO with $100 billion valuation. That's kind of a big thing. Institutions are buying Bitcoin at truckloads. Whenever it goes down below 50K, like they are just buying up in the millions, especially institutions in the US. The Asian institutions haven't really started this buying frenzy yet, but we're probably going to come in like probably later this year, and then that will probably support once the US buying stops, I suppose. In the long term, like in the next 5 years, let's talk about NFT before we talk long term. NFT is definitely on an interesting uptrend. We started looking into it in 2018, 2019. I thought it was interesting. We always knew it was going to be something. I was surprised that this year it started blowing up. We never expect Mark Cuban, Gary Vee to kind of talk about NFTs. So I think NBA Top Shot kind of blow up as well. I think NFTs are probably going to be like kind of the ways where the mainstream people start hearing about crypto. So they probably come in to crypto via NFTs, and then once they have some NFTs, they realize that, hey, all these things are traded against ETH. Maybe I should have some ETH in my portfolio because ETH is sort of useful, and then they start looking at Bitcoin or USDC or any other coin. So I think that's probably one of the feedback loops for a lot of the for people coming to the crypto. I think in the long run, like as I mentioned earlier, like anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. So if you're thinking about that direction, right? I mean, when we started CoinGecko, there was only 20 tokens on the homepage. That was it. That was kind of the world of all the cryptocurrencies in the world back then. And fast forward 7 years now, I mean, we have 6,000 coins. That sounds like a lot from where we started many years back with only 20 coins. And if you think about it, if we go on this same direction, same trajectory, what it would mean is that in 5 years' time, for example, we'll be looking at a world with millions of tokens, and what we are doing is we are building the foundation, the infrastructure where CoinGecko will support users searching for 1 million tokens on the website. How do we aggregate, display, and categorize and share this information with everyone in the world is something that that's going to be a tough challenge for us, and something that we want to help the crypto community do. So really for us, it's building the foundation, the infrastructure needed to kind of support a world where there will be millions of tokens, and how do we and how can we help build this future is what drives us these days.
Amazing, dope, man, and we're here for it. We're here to watch CoinGecko, continue to put its users first, and learning right there with it. It could be small things like clicking to add a token to MetaMask that saves people so much time and headache and research minutes or hours for some people, to putting out full books on learning a certain subject. So I think that everyone in the space has gained invaluable knowledge just from visiting CoinGecko.com, on a daily, and looking at the app and having it. I think I can safely say from all of us in the community and in the space in general that massive thank you to you and the team for putting this product together, and we're very excited to see what you guys can keep bringing to us, because you're almost like a public good at this point, Bobby. If something happened to CoinGecko, I don't know where we'd be. So you're definitely intricate, necessary part of what the space looks like today. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us, to answer questions, and to give us your broad overview of everything crypto. Take it away, man.
Speak to the community. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much for inviting me. I always kind of enjoy coming on shows like this and explaining what we do at CoinGecko. So very happy to answer your questions, and feel free to talk to one of us in our chat groups and so on. Pleasure to be on the show.
Dope. I've linked your Twitter profiles here in the chat. If you have a Telegram, you want to paste it there and get people involved in your community that you have going on there, be it for support, be it for feedback, whatever it is. Bobby and the team will definitely get you sorted in the timely manner that only they know how to provide. So with that, everyone, thank you for tuning into this other episode of Whale FM project showcases. We'll try to continue to bring you interesting, good projects like CoinGecko very, very near in the future. If you've missed one of them before, or Bobby, if you want to share this, you can very quickly, tomorrow, look it up on YouTube and provide a link and share with everyone. So with that, y'all, have a great night. Bobby, hats off. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you, man.
Peace.